Hello viewers, here is a 52-inch Hampton Bay Carriage House ceiling fan. This is the original Carriage House model as seen in the 2001 catalog. And this model is somewhat of an oddity. There's a mystery that's generated here in this catalog. First off, let's take a look at the two different variants. This was offered in polished brass and white and polished brass, which we see here. And it's kind of odd because unlike other models like the Chatham, for example, where the different finishes are the same fan, they're identical in all respects, sans the finish, the Carriage House is a little bit different. The light shades are completely different. The motor housings are, well, the brass one doesn't have the accents on it that the white one does. I guess the shape looks like it's pretty much the same. But the real oddity comes in the irons and the blades. So if you look at the blades and the irons on the white one, they're the same as the example I have here. But if you look at the blades and the irons on this one, it's a little bit different. These irons are a kind of mysterious, like a right angle almost, and the blades have the, it's not, I don't know if it's called a wingtip, but it's got like a point at the end, whereas the white ones here are more rounded. So I'm wondering if this photograph is just the wrong blades and the wrong irons, because I've seen these in the wild and they don't have the right angle irons. They have the same irons that the white and brass one has. So it's very odd. There was one that appeared new in the box. I think it was on the Facebook Marketplace or something, but there was no photograph. At least not by the time that I saw the listing. Anyway, so this is the second one that I've acquired. The first one was demolished in shipping because, well, of beating around the bush here. The first one was a scam, sold by a scammer. The second one was legitimate, and that's the one that we see here. Unfortunately, the irons have gotten very scratched up, not necessarily due to the shipping process, but just due to probably handling after it was taken down, because a lot of times people will stack the blades up on top of each other and the screws on the other side just demolishes the finish. And so that's what we see here. It's blurry, but when it unblurs, if that ever transpires, you'll see that they're pretty scratched up, which is a shame because on a reflective brass finish it shows, and it's kind of hard to fix other than getting everything replated. If it was a white fan, no big deal, you just repaint it, but it's not. So that's a shame. Otherwise it's in pretty decent condition. Very powerful fan. I'm impressed. I'm noticing here now that the catalog says it's a comfort rating of B, whereas the Chatham is only a C, so they admit, or not that it's a secret, but they acknowledge rather that it does move significantly more air than some of the other models. And they claim it's only a 12-degree blade pitch, but to me it seems like it's a little bit more. I have the, I think they called it bleached oak blades facing down. Looked better to me than with the white, probably because that photograph in there had it in the bleached oak, but the one in the bathroom was white, so I don't know. Anyway, I like it this way, and it's a really nice fan. I really like it, and I'm glad I found one. Just have to do something about those irons. Anyway, so let's go ahead and start this up on the high. There's the light. It's a three-way light, which is kind of interesting. And here is the fan. This one is made by the SMC. The motor is branded as such, but I have the other one and it was not made by SMC. In fact, it's a totally different OEM, I think, because not only does the motor look totally different, the blade irons are different as well. The way they screw onto the blades is not the same. So they must have used multiple OEMs to manufacture these fans, and I'm curious to power the other one up, even though the bearings are shot and everything, just to see how the performance compares to this one, because the motor in the other one, I think it looked a little bit bigger than the one in this one. But this really moves the air. I'm thoroughly impressed for a flush mount fan, how much air this moves. Really powerful. It shakes, of course, because the irons are, I don't know, they don't look like they're out of clock from a vertical situation, but they must be out of clock in some way, shape, or form, because they're all cockamamie and the thing's shaking pretty bad. I wanted to try the other irons because they cosmetically look a little better as well, but the screws was different, and that's a problem because the other one didn't come with the screws for the blade irons. Or you know what? That's not true. It did come with the screws because the irons was attached. Okay, I don't know where the screws are at. I don't know. I'm so frustrated by that sale. I can't even figure anything out about it. Okay, so there's the high, very powerful. Well, quite impressed. Very seldom that these flush mount fans really move a good amount of air, but this one does. If I can find the screws for the other one, and here's the medium. If I can find the screws for the other irons, and I can put the irons on this motor, and it works, then I may put this in the computer room for a little while. I need a good fan in there, and I'd like to have one with a light. It still shakes a hair on medium, but it's not too bad. Slows down quite a bit, but it's still moving good air. See, the blade's clock is pretty close. I don't know why it's so out of whack. It's not far off at all. And looking at the irons, I mean, there's not much of a difference there either. I think one or two of them are a slightly different pitch, but it's not that bad. I'm surprised it shakes as much as it does. I don't know what's going on with that. Alright, let's go to the low. And it's got a really good pitch to it as well. I'm surprised it's only 12 degrees. Oh, I thought it'd be a little more than that. Still moves plenty of air on low. The motor's noisy. I don't know if it was always like that or if it's gotten worse over time. I'm surprised it's that loud. But then again, some of the SMC fans, they were kind of loud. Oddly enough, the bearings are quiet. When I spun it up by hand before I hung it, the bearings seemed like they were going to be kind of noisy. But they seem to be okay. You can see it's still pushing out plenty of air. Really impressive performance for a flush mount unit. I like these shades too. They're a very unique shape. I was very upset when the other ones got broken shipping, or when they got broke by the seller or the scammer, because I knew it would be very difficult to source replacements for those. Alright, so that's off now. We can get some relief from that motor noise. The other thing I thought was kind of odd about this was that the motor has the AccuArm holes in it, but the irons don't have the AccuArm tab. And I looked on the other irons from the other fan, which is right over there, and those irons don't have it either. I'm trying to remember now if the motor has it or not. Let's see, does it have it? No, it doesn't. In fact, this one is a 4 or 5 motor, so you could take either 4 or 5 blades. And I don't recall there being any mention of that in the catalog, so that's kind of odd. In fact, that's really odd. Is that really a 4.5? Yeah, it is a 4.5 motor. That's strange. I'm not sure what the OEM of that one is. This one is clearly marked as SMC. I wonder if the other one's quieter. That's weird. I don't recall ever seeing one of these with 4 blades. Very odd. So the mystery with the irons continues. Why are these not AccuArm when the holes are there? We may never know.